A lot of rappers think they could make it to the NBA, but the reality is they're just not good enough. And I know what you're saying. You're saying
Scotty, Quavo, and Shaq West, and J. Cole, those guys can all hoop.
But nah. The reality is that none of those guys are good enough to make it to the league. But Master P, he almost made it. In the late 90s, rapper Master P was hot. He was coming off a quadruple platinum and triple platinum record, but he wasn't content with being just a rapper. In 1998, Master P, real name Percy Miller, embarked on a journey that was considered outrageous and impossible, to go from rapper to NBA player. P said that he grew up playing street ball against some really good hoopers, but it was rough and players would often drink, smoke, and fight mid-game. He was a high school standout in New Orleans, and even had the opportunity to play in college at Houston. But he tore his ACL before the season started. He did successfully come back though, being a big presence in the Northern California AAU scene, playing with and against the likes of Jason Kidd and Steve Nash. He would eventually fade out of the hoop scene, as he began his rap career and started a record store. If you want to know what other businesses he made money in, well, just listen to any of his music. His rap career would be illustrious, becoming one of the biggest rappers of the 90s and releasing 3 multi-platinum records. He was at the top of the hip-hop world, but during the 1998 NBA lockout, he decided to make a career change and make a run at the NBA. His professional journey started as a semi-pro player, where he stood out and gained the praise of coaches. After scrimmaging with players like Paul Pierce and Derek Fisher, he was able to get his name out there in the NBA. And after much negotiation and convincing of the Dallas Mavericks, they offered P a contract, but quickly rescinded it after he failed to show up to the first practice. The Hornets, desperate to bring fan attention to the team, offered him a spot just a few days later, and he accepted. Teammates and coaches of his said that P really could hoop. He had a nice jump shot and could knock down his open shots all day. He had a serviceable handle and a solid IQ. One teammate described him as having an old man's game, where he could use pump fakes and finesse moves to help him get open shots. He was also 6'4" and a pretty physical defender. But with that said, he just wasn't a great pure athlete and struggled to finish inside. The team hosted an inter-squad scrimmage that was open to the public, but were surprised to find 15,000 fans outside the building, all wanting to see Master P hoop. Multiple famous rappers were in attendance, and the fans were going crazy. One even held up a sign that read, "Goodbye MJ, hello Master P." He dropped 9 points in the game, on 3 of 6 shooting, with 4 assists and 2 boards. Although the move was largely viewed as a publicity stunt at the beginning, he silenced a lot of critics, players and fans alike, with a really solid performance. Regardless of his impressive performance, P said that Hornets general manager Bob Bass called him up and told him that he was a hell of a basketball player, but they couldn't keep him on the team because of the way his music was perceived by people in the city. They cut him with 4 days remaining until the season. The following season, P would find his way back into the league with the Raptors. He worked hard in training camp and tried to be a good teammate, he said, but he was the victim of rookie hazing. He even got in a fight with former dunk contest champ D. Brown after refusing to carry his bags. Regardless, he still made his way into the preseason rotation, but he played just a total of 23 minutes in 6 games, shooting 4 from 13 from the field. His one major highlight was dropping 8 points against the Grizzlies. The Raptors cut him just a few days before the season began. P was mad, and he said it was politics why he didn't make the team. He felt as if he belonged on the Raptors, and was better than a lot of bench players in the league. He didn't give up on his hoop dreams though, and went back to playing semi-pro before trying out for the Nuggets in 2004, but he was again cut. He also tried out for the Kings in 2005, and was yet again cut. He later said in an interview, though, that he roughed up Matt Barnes, and credits that for Barnes turning into the physical player he was. Even though his NBA career was filled with disappointment, he still managed to make a nice contribution to the league. He ran an AAU team and coached the likes of future pros DeMar DeRozan, Lance Stevenson, and Brandon Jennings. Regardless of what you want to say about his career being a publicity stunt or a joke, which sure, it was, no other entertainer has made it as far as Master P did in his NBA career.